I'm Joey Tedesco, and you're watching the Cartoon Palooza. The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. One of the reasons I started to watch Cartoon Network again back in the day. It was the end of the cartoon era when I stopped watching the network, which represented a sudden decline. Most animation fans contribute to Sam Snyder in the introduction of live-action entertainment. Regardless, there was an editorial I made last week talking about all that. There was this untimely charm about this show that was just flat out irresistible. Along with another show from SpongeBob animator called Chowder, these shows represented some of the most original, inspiring, and at times surreal animation on television. The only price of admission when it comes to this show is that it can get kinda...
She's here.
strange. It was clear with these shows they paved the way for better programming with the likes of Adventure Time, The Regular Show, and Steven Universe. And on the Palooza, I'll be discussing this show, mainly because I feel like it's gotten a worse rep over the years. I'll be highlighting its strengths, flaws, and determining if it's something you might want to check out if you find it on DVD. So get your sea shoes on, landlubbers, because we're going to be watching The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack on the Cartoon Palooza. Right from the opening, which is a neat stop motion sequence, we open up to a style I remember seeing for the first time mystified that this was television quality animation. While the actual movements are television grade, the look of this world is unlike anything I've seen on the network for a really long time. It was like discovering Rugrats or Ren and Stimpy for the first time, seeing these characters that look nothing like regular TV characters. Our hero Flapjack is a chipper, upbeat, and overly optimistic character. Strangely, this was a trend among most cartoon main characters at the time. However, one of the things that set him apart from the rest is that he's voiced by the show's creator, who for all intents and purposes has an...
Looking out the window, I was pitching and like saying hi to people. Oh, hey, Jerry! Like nothing to say, just like so bored.
interesting voice. Yeah, regardless of the tampering of the voice, that's how Thurp Van Orman sounds. Hey, I ain't complaining. I think that voice is awesome. So awesome that they used it in Gravity Falls.
Oh my goodness.
Knuckles, just so we know, there's an apostrophe before the N in the Knuckles, is your typical pirate, mostly made of sleeves and fake limbs. A lot of the adults who know he's voiced by Bill Murray's older brother, which you'd recognize from Caddyshack and Christmas Vacation. But most of the kids like myself at the time knew him as the voice of the Flying Dutchman on SpongeBob. It's funny when you see him go from one different colored pirate to another different colored pirate, but hey, I digress. For the most part, the show follows them along with their sassy black whale, Bubby, as they encounter the strange and obscure on the sea, and the home dock of Stormaway Harbor. They also got this obsession with eating candy at a bar. I'd say this is an excuse for not having alcohol on the show, but seeing them go at it, you feel like it's very implied. One of the best running gags on the show involves the candy bartender Peppermint Larry when he talks to his wife.
Isn't that right, wife?
That was the strangest cutaway joke I've ever seen in my life. The show is so bizarre. Like, to just show you how bizarre this show is, let's look at one of my favorite episodes, the Mechanical Genie Island. Both Flapjack and Knuckles are trapped on an island from a mad Zoltar machine after a bet goes wrong. I remember watching this episode for the first time, quoting it and getting mystified by the strange mechanical Zoltar machine. I love how this guy goes between outright cruel to just oblivious. The fact that he's alone on an island and finally has some company makes it funnier knowing that he has some humanity. I ain't spoiling the ending, but it's surprisingly something you'd never expect. Something from like a really old Star Trek episode. One thing is that you never see Bubby in the episode, but that's just a minor nitpick. Yes, you got some strange, surreal moments in this show, but there is a naive innocence when you got both characters Flapjack and Knuckles. Sure, Knuckles is more or less your hardened shell of a curmudgeon who eventually turns around when things don't go his way. However, his ignorance is on the verge of stupidity makes him a funny foil when he eventually learns a lesson or two. Sometimes, when the show hits a joke that works, it goes all the way. There's one episode where Flapjack encounters a man he believes is ashamed of being incredibly hideous. However, when it's revealed to be the complete opposite, it's his beauty that causes him to get too much love, that causes this fellow to leave the town.
My beauty has an effect on people.
When I went into the comb business, I wanted people to like me for my beauty supplies, not my beauty.
That's a pretty clever setup for the whole inner beauty conundrum when we see on shows and television. And if the humor is all about juxtaposing two things that don't go together for an interesting result, then this is a fine example of that. However, things don't stay peaches and creams, as the last episode of the show from its third season, Fish Out of Water, makes a bittersweet ending. Despite not having any continuity, it's apparent how this episode could represent the final moments. Here we see Flapjack and Knuckles eat a special candy that they believe turns them into fish. It's after hanging out with some mermen and doppelfish to the folk of Stormalong do they realize it's a flu that allows them to turn back human. However, the moment when they realize the show has come to an end, it's when they realize this special candy can turn them into actual humans, amongst an animated backdrop. As played by Thurp Van Orman and his son, they ride off on Bubby, onto the sunset, hoping to find a new home. But as they say, when one door closes, another one's closed. Wait, that's not how it goes. If one door closes, you got two. One that's closed and another one that's open. No, that's... Okay, let me see if I can backtrack this. You get one door, and then you get 3 other doors, because you're in a hallway, because there's going to be other doors in that hallway. You got to remember that. It's important. This is important stuff, guys. You got one door, 3 are open, but there's one that's closed, slightly on an angle. So you don't know this. Doors can mess you up for life, because you got one door... No, wait, what am I doing? One door is closed, 3 are open, Jimmy's got 5 apples, he's going to be giving it to Marissa. It was after the show or near its end did 3 artists from the show give their own projects. J.G. Quintel would make the regular show, Pendleton Ward would make Adventure Time, and Alex Hirsch would make Gravity Falls. All of these shows have gone on to become critically acclaimed and commercial successes, and it's clear these guys haven't forgotten their roots. While their surreal humor was nowhere near as weird as Flapjack, they would utilize similar humor and cutaway jokes. However, the real icing on the cake is how they would include Flapjack creator Thurp Van Orman back into the mix. Orman would write an episode or 2 on Adventure Time, one that would introduce the world to Marceline's vampire father. On Gravity Falls, he would voice the character Little Gideon. For those who have seen the show, know it's perfect casting. In some ways, its legacy lives on in spirit through these shows. It's hard to say that it's a perfect show, but its humor, writing, and style reflects a lot of effort that should not be ignored. I guess you could say the hardcore fans of the shows I mentioned before might want to know where the creators got their starts. In the process, they can see the influence and appreciate where it came from. Even after all these years where Flapjack's been off the air, I can revisit it and never get tired, hence why I have no hesitation giving it a worth it rating. I mentioned this back in my Teen Titans Go review. What kind of comedy are you into? But I really want to focus on surreal humor. What is your favorite use of surreal humor? Comment and let me know. I'm Joey Tedesco, and I really want to go back to the door issue because you don't know. Doors can mess you up. Took my Aunt Marissa last month. God rest her soul.